My first GRE I've taken, it was April, and the cumulative score was like a 297. Then I ended up taking another test in July 3rd, and I ended up getting 314. June 2023, I graduated from my Ukrainian university with bachelor's in computer science. And also I was, always wanted to get master's. I started thinking about grad school again because I work for USG and they give you this opportunity. They pay for school if you get in. So I shouldn't be worrying about tuition. So all I have to do is to get in. So then I started gathering information, doing my research, and of course, different schools. Some schools require GRE, some don't. I have a 295 GPA, which is not ideal for grad school. So I needed GRE to boost my, kind of balance it out. And I think it was January this year when I started active prepping for GRE, the general test, not any subject, anything. And I just took a test too, so then I could, choose the bus. I was using a lot different prep materials. Magoosh obviously was one of them. I used Kaplan and also Manhattan Prep, where they have this 5-pound book practice. I had this just basic Kaplan study prep, but they had everything. And I walked through every single chapter, just, like getting to know what they ask and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and that's when I took the test, I got the mark. And what I did differently after that is concentration on my not so good areas. So basically an idea of you have a boat with a lot of like holes, and the idea is to plug the holes in the boat so it doesn't sink. Mindset I was approaching this thing with. Yeah, and I started also doing, there was a Manhattan quantitative thing that dives in specifically on that. I took that and I did the chapter specifically where I was weak at, and after studying them there, I went to Magoosh to just pay all of those materials. The good thing is that every company, they see it. It will be very Gen Z of me saying it. It has a different vibe. The very good thing is that you can actually see your pace. I tend to like just sit in and like trying to understand the question, and then just looking at the like average pace for other people and my pace. I was like, okay, I gotta pick it up and see where I'm like really taking a lot of time. And then I figured that, for example, since I'm Ukrainian, a lot of terms, especially math, are like completely different. My first GRE I've taken, it was April 26. It was kind of before I was just getting in to know what is test about and those kind of things. And the cumulative score was like a 297. Then I ended up taking another test in July, and I ended up getting 314. Equilateral triangle and all of those things, like really basic. I just wrote them down. I went through it all, and that did help. So I saw my pace was better. So that was really good. And yeah, basically I was studying for about hour and a half to 2 hours every day. Yeah, I saw that like this amount of hours gives you this score boost, this amount of hours you put in gives you this. So I was just trying to put in as much as possible, but also not to overwhelm my brain. So occasionally I could have just like done a real break, like on weekends I didn't study. The thing that I could do when I'm just like not doing anything is just flashcards. I use Helpline, and also you have GRE Vocab as an app, because I also was traveling, so obviously it was not convenient for me to get that bulk of flashcards. So with GRE on my, vocab on my phone, I was sitting on a plane, I was doing it for 30 minutes, I felt good, really helped. My goal was to get close to 320, so 314 it's hard for me to judge because I'm very new to all of the systems, obviously. So, but I Google, for example, my target school is UGA. And for them, the average score is from 310 to 315. So I'm falling right then and there. So I feel pretty, like, okay. All the other resources were just serving as, strictly resources to acquire kind of as big database as possible of all of the types of things, and then just go in. And I always ended my practice with like going to Magoosh and like, okay, doing this, and for example, next day I will study something else, and the next day after that, I will sort of have a gap, go to Magoosh and study that topic that I've studied like a couple of days ago, just kind of see if I'm there, if I'm, have my hand on a pulse. So yeah, and yeah, that was helpful because I scored like 299 before taking exam in April and scoring 297, which was like super close. The only thing that did happen, I scored really low before going to the taking test in June, doing the full length on Magoosh, but I think it's more because of nerve. That's my weak point. I'm really getting nervous, and there's something that I have to manage. So that's why, again, full length is very helpful because you kind of get accommodated to that feeling, to that pace. And also see that it also they pulled out, they do not give you points as compared to previous years and all of that. Yeah, and knowing that you are as close, you up of how that is formatted and you adjust accordingly was very helpful because I haven't, I don't have to sit down and like, okay, for this section I have this amount of time. It's all in there already. When I got to it, I was just like, go, go, go. You don't even have time to think about how anxious you are, because that was exactly the rhythm that I've managed to get doing the full length practice tests, because I just get into the pace and you just go, you're in your zone. And kind of when you develop that path of, I don't know, neural paths that you will have to go into that feeling. That's how you're going to be, thanks. It helps because that's the same feeling I had when I went to the test. Yeah. I was not super freaking out because it was more familiar. I knew how I would be, targeting certain questions. I knew that I'm going to skip this and this if it takes too much time, which also was helpful to identify. It's one of the tricks, and go back and then, all of that, and then review, go to specific questions, target them. That was really helpful. Well, the structure is like that. You take the practice test just to see where you're starting off. And then you see your weak points, and then you target those weak points with different resources and things. Obviously, the more resources you have, the better. But I didn't have a very flexible budget on prepping, because I saw there's like Manhattan Prep and you can do it with tutors and things, but they just cost. So Magoosh was kind of, for me, like the most affordable option, and I felt that I'm getting quality, because it doesn't matter how many books or resources or how many things you have in writing and stuff, you're not going to get that timed experience, adjustable test as you're doing it, to understand how it will be done in real life, how the algorithm is going to adjust to that. You're not going to get that with only books. You certainly have to go in and just do it with your hands, just get adjusted to that. So yeah, it's importance of that, I would say, even as 60 to 40. 40 is just resources, and 60 is practicing, timing, and all of that.